like I'm fresh out the water. Put that on my daughter, I'm dripping Mystique. Pin to the pad of my author and marathon jogger, been running for weeks. Yeah, I tell no lies, my eyes on the prize. You lose by choosing to blink. I found a treasure by taking on pressure and pushing myself to the brink.
What's going on? I'm Bobby J from City Chapters. I'm your host, and I'm sitting here with my man T.S The Solution.
Yes.
This is chapter 2, our second interview. And me and T.S have known each other for some years now. Mm-hmm. And we were just talking about how we met, and it was at a photo shoot that I held for City Chapters, and one of the photographers invited T.S. And ever since that moment, we really been rocking together. And we got some sick photos that day. The police came. It was a whole vibe.
As they do.
Nobody went to jail, though, you know, just to be clear on that.
Luckily, yeah.
There was canines barking and all sorts of things, but we didn't go.
Nobody in the back seat.
Yeah. But T.S. is a harmonics magician. All right. This guy can do anything with the vibrations that you need. So
I like that.
He's an artist. He's an audio engineer. He's just a sound guru. I mean, does it all, basically.
Like Come on, keep going.
And first and foremost, he's a husband and a father.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Yes.
There we go.
Let's go. Thank you for having me, bro.
Man. I'm excited to have you, bro. Yeah. Obviously, me and you have very similar minds in the way we like to think and conversate, and the type of conversations we hold have always been amazing. And I've always known as soon as I start a podcast, got to have TS on. And you're just one individual in this town that I highly respect because of the way you move and the way you think, and you're authentic, man.
Thank you, bro.
Your ego is like non-existent in the facet of it in a negative sense, you know?
Yeah.
Which I just feel like we just need more individuals like that. So
Facts. That's a fact.
I've always respected the way you move, and we're here to highlight your chapter, man, highlight your story, and give you a platform on just speaking so people could get to know you better if they don't really know you behind the scenes. And so let's get going into about you, man. Let's get you talking.
Yeah, man. So what's up, everybody? I'm T.S The Solution, a hip-hop artist, audio engineer, sound editor, do all that stuff in the back, producer, and like my boy Bobby saying, husband, father of twins. Those are my highlights, man. Those are the things that keep me going each and every day, So, when I it's crazy too, because I've been hearing about City Chapters for a while, since I've been out here. And this is back in, I got here in 2014, 13, 14, somewhere around there. As soon as I touched down, City Chapters was one of the brands I think I was hearing about, maybe not that particular year, but
a few
going
years
up,
later.
Going up a little bit, and I start seeing the jacket, like the Spokane jackets everywhere. I'm like, man, what is that? And especially in the arts community. So I'm like, okay, I'm always been like a firm believer of like, if it's meant to be, it'll be. I don't force nothing. You know what I mean? So I already knew, like, I'm gonna meet the person behind this brand, or I'm gonna meet the group around. Like the way you move, I thought there was a group of you. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh, who are these guys? You know what I mean? So when we finally met, I was like, oh, dude is a hustler. Like, dude, work, grind, all that. It's like you wear multiple hats too. So yeah, it just made sense that we clicked. So
yeah,
it
man.
was easy.
Yeah, and those are, I mean, just beautiful moments when you click with people like that, because you don't cross paths with. And it doesn't happen often for people like us where you kind of connect with somebody on these levels. I mean, we got a amazing group of friends, but it's just really refreshing out here when you meet somebody that's trying to go against the grain, you know, not doing things in a normal way, trying to make their own mark, trying to do their own thing. So you're from the west side of Washington originally, in the Tacoma, Seattle, greater area. So I went to school in a little city of Kent, and then I was just not in the best company in that area. And then I bounced around. I went to lived in Covington, but spent a lot of my time further away. I lived in Tacoma. I spent a lot of my time out there, just being, because most of my family was out there at the time. And from there, I learned like a lot from spending time in Tacoma, though. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What was the family dynamic for you growing up? Did you have like a nucleus family, or were you staying around with different family members? What was growing up like?
Yeah, a little bit of both. For the most part, I was with moms. I was with my moms and my sister. For the most part, Pops was in Alabama, so he'll come up to Washington here and there, and then finally he came up and stayed. So he's been around too. But for the most part, most of my life, my sister and my mom for sure. Nice. And then there's times at grandma's, there's times with my aunties and stuff like that. Like I have a very female dominant family. There's a bunch of girls. There's a few of us. There's off the top of my head, there's probably 4 boys. Yeah. And everybody else is girls. All my aunties are on my mom's side. So I got my mom's side most of the part, and then my pop's side is still down south. So I'm not too sure about that side. I think that side's mostly boys, but I was raised around my mom's side of the family, and she has all sisters. So it's like I'm very in touch with my emotions.
Yeah, which is good. That's good.
Sure. Yeah,
that's probably why me and you really do connect, though. Yeah, because I am as well. My mom raised me. Yeah, so I'm a pretty boy for sure. Yeah, and plus I'm a Cancer, so it's just I get double whammy, bro. I'm sensitive. I'm emotional. I'll be the first one to admit it. Yeah, every time. So growing up, was there just a lot of love in your household? Was it pretty stable as far as, the environment you grew up in?
Yeah. I think my mom did a great job at trying to keep afloat. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't notice how bad it was until now as an adult, right? I was looking back and I'm like, man, we had some cool furniture, but then we didn't have cool furniture. What happened to that furniture? Where it was coming from? We go to, it was Rent-A-Center and like places like that. And places like that, the margins, they just, know what I'm saying? Yeah, couch that originally cost $500, you can get for $1,000, and credit and all these things. I wasn't. And the interest, I wasn't aware of that. So, but my mom did her best to like keep that stuff away from me and my sister. But other than that, I grew up around some hustlers. Like my mom and my sister, they did hair out the house. You know what I'm saying? They had jobs. My sister was throwing house parties here and there around the city and stuff. So
like and making money doing
that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she knew how to coordinate events and all that stuff. But any like type of side hustle, you know what I'm saying? My mom and my sister were both on it. They didn't play that. So that's where I got that side from too. And then my mom kept me busy with sports. So it was like football, basketball. It was like anything sports related growing up.
So your mom and sister were self-employed, essentially.
Essentially, yeah. Like my mom's probably held down a couple of jobs and then still hustled on the side. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And she had no choice. She had to grind and go get it. Right. My mom's is Long Beach, California. You know what I'm saying? And she didn't have the easiest upbringing, but she did her best so we didn't emulate that. Plus,
she did her best to protect you with where you guys were and make sure that you guys had as much as she could give you.
Yeah, a better upbringing than her too. You know what I'm saying? It was, as soon as we can get out of California, we got out of California.
So you were born in Cali?
Yeah, I was born in California, and my mom was like, I'm not raising no boy out here.
Yeah, in Long Beach.
Yeah, nah. Because she knew what was going on.
Yeah, it's hard to. Yeah, it's scary out there.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
males specifically, right?
Yeah, it was a different time. And then, like I said, like my mom was active in some type of lifestyle out there that she knew. I got a son. Like my sister went to school out there and did her thing out there, but when I was born, it was like, oh hell, no, I can't raise no boy in this environment. So yeah, we gotta go.
How much older is your sister?
Sister got 7 years on me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she got more a full experience down there going in Long Beach, and then you guys moved up to Tacoma.
We moved when we first got here. I think we were in Seattle when we first got here. I think because that's where my grandma was at. And then we moved to Kent because that's where my auntie was at. We lived with her for a while. And then I didn't get to Tacoma until like high school. Excuse me. That's when I got to Tacoma. And at that time it was like stuck in my ways, quote unquote. You know what I'm saying? From trying to live a specific lifestyle and trying to do all that. You know what I'm saying? But being in Tacoma took me out of an environment that wasn't healthy. So, but at the same time, I was still dealing with stuff even in Tacoma. It's weird, you know what I mean? I get kind of like, I don't know, a little bit of, I don't know, I generalize a lot. I'm a general person, so like I get experiences from Kent and my time in Kent, and then when we traveled to Seattle a lot. So I've seen a lot in Seattle. A lot of homies are from Seattle, and then my family's from Tacoma, and then there's tension there.
What part of Tacoma?
So I had a grandma that stayed on Hilltop, and then I went to Falls High School, so I was in that area. I wasn't too far from Hilltop.
Which Hilltop is notorious.
Yeah. But I spent a lot of time with my cousins because my cousins' homeboys had a studio on the east side of Tacoma, so I spent time with them. I learned a lot from just watching them, being around them, seeing how they move. So I went
from the time you were really young.
Well, my cousin came up when I think I was in elementary. So I've been watching him since I was in elementary.
He had his studio,
and he had he was rapping. Yeah, they had the studio. Like my auntie had the studio really in the backyard. Man.
So you saw it from the time you were really young,
young. Every
step
in
the studio, like okay, I could do this.
Yeah, and they had the studio in the backyard, and then my uncle, he knew how to run all the equipment. So we should have had a label, to be honest, bro. Like,
yeah,
the family
was that kind of. Doing. Do you remember like a moment being that young in the studio, like this is what I'm gonna do?
Absolutely. It was just my cousin became that male role model for me pretty fast because he was constantly around, you know what I mean? And so anything he was into, I was into. And music was something that lit a flame in me for sure. So if he's making the beats, I'm learning how to make beats. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome. That's cool. He was like, "Yeah, little cuz, you can be in here, learn, bro."
Yeah.
That's sweet.
I try to give him credit as much as I can to this day in songs and records and stuff like that. So yeah, Calvin.
That's awesome, man. Yeah. How is he doing, or what's his story?
Good. He good. He got some daughters now. He good. He working. You know what I'm saying? He's still my role model to this day. I look up to him a lot. And like when we talk about perseverance, like he embodies all that.
What's his name?
Calvin.
Yeah.
Calvin. All right, Stewart, dope. Man. Yeah. Shout out my cousin Calvin. Man.
Calvin. Yeah. Man. Cool, man. So was there any like specifically maybe hard times that you faced when you were younger that kind of set a different tone or trajectory for your life? Are there any ones that you would want to talk about that, were really formative in how you kind of think about life? And
absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was a part of my life where right before I went to Job Corps, and that was when I was 16, 17, something like that. So I was just wanted to run the streets, bro. Like I just wanted to be the tough guy. I wanted to be that guy in that type of perspective.
Yeah.
And then there's just one point where I realized there was some of my homeboys that really wanted to be that a lot more than I did. And they did, and they accomplished it, you know, or, you know what I'm saying, we had lost lives, or some of us did jail time, and you know what I'm saying, and then it's like, oh, this is what it comes with, you know what I'm saying. So it's like, there was one point, bro, I was coming from my homeboy's house. I was either coming from it or going to it, and I think I was going to it, but he wasn't there, and I was really by myself. I was like, man, none of us are around. Like, everybody's like really about it, being active somewhere else or something. I'm like, man, this sucks. And I'm like, you know what I'm saying? At this time, I've been recording at my house. I've been writing songs, you know, all types of stuff. But I'm like, man, I'm kind of by myself. This kind of sucks, you know? And trouble's still brewing. I'm still known as a troublemaker in the area. And this is in Kent. And yeah, I was just bored, bro. I was like, this can't be it, yo. So when we finally made the decision to go to Job Corps, like, school wasn't going right. Again, like, relationships wasn't going right. I had terrible, terrible choices in women at that time. It was just really bad. I ruined relationships. I burned bridges. I'm just like, man, this can't be it. Yeah. And but my mom's had pointed me to Job Corps. You're like, man, you need a trade. I mean, you need to just get away from this environment. Like, you ain't doing nothing. And I was like, all right. And so that's when I went to Job Corps, and that probably saved my life for sure. Yeah. Just to get away from something I was so used to.
Yeah. So it sounds like, I mean, even in Spokane, like, I found myself in a crazy lifestyle for a long time, you know, and that's because kind of similar things. Like, I chose to get into it because really I was dealing with a lot of pain from some trauma when I was younger, and I just wanted people to, like, fear me, you know, like, and be like that guy, like, what's up, you know, like, that whole attitude at that time. And I was young, you know, of course. So, but I imagine where you grew up was a lot more saturated in your immediate area with some hard living, you know? Yeah. Like, for me, it was just like me and my homies were choosing this kind of like to be rebellious almost more than really the necessity of having to live this way. Right. Where, you know, that is something that I look back now and I'm wise enough to see, like, I was being swayed to act that way. It wasn't really me, wasn't really the environment I was from. Yeah. And I did it at full force, but it came with a lot of complications. Luckily I wasn't smart enough. My job force or Job Corps was going to jail. You know? That's where I realized and was able to sit down for the first time and be like, yo, what am I doing? This is not what I want to be doing. Like, this isn't the direction I want to take. Yeah. So thankfully for you, you know, you had your mother and your own wisdom at such a young age too, to realize, like, nah, this isn't going to end well. Yeah. And I didn't.
One way or another, you're going to get that lesson.
I just got blessed with a lesson that was, like, just enough for me to learn, you know, but it could have been so much worse, you know.
Could have been, for sure.
And I'm thankful that, you know, the universe looked out for me and just gave me enough to learn. And I didn't ruin my life, you know. Yeah. It's so how long were you in Job Corps, and, like, what were some of the main things that you learned there that really helped you out?
Yeah, I was in Job Corps for a little over a year. And I mean, Job Corps was great, to be honest. It was looking back, it was like, you know, a couple steps from jail, but it was like, you couldn't go nowhere. I mean, you were bunked up. There was no privacy. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Very similar.
Yeah, it was like the living quarters were not great, yo. You know, we're doing the top ramen in the napkin and putting it, you know what I'm saying? And it was tough, but it was like, man, it's this or, back out you go to figure it out. Because there wasn't no like path given to us or something like that. It was none of that. It was just like Nip said, about the system and stuff. He was just like, if you don't figure it out, we got somewhere we're gonna put you. And it was that. It was like, but Job Corps was a necessary evil. It was a necessary evil because even then, the people that I met there, I still keep in contact with today. Really? Yeah. Like I met Exact Change there.
Oh yeah.
At Job Corps. You know what I'm saying? And he was one of those guys where he was always doing music. So we're always freestyling. You know what I'm saying? I met my homeboy LQ there. He's now the godfather of my twins. You know what I'm saying? My homeboy Mikey, who is a legend, bro. Like me and Q look up to Mikey low key. He on vacation right now, so we like, man, we trying to get there too. We ain't there yet. And a handful of other people. I met my wife while I was at Job Corps. She didn't go to Job Corps, but I met her while I was there. You know what I'm saying? And it really taught me to open my mind to more paths. There's more than one way to get the job done. You know what I'm saying? And get to where you want to go. That's something my mom instilled in me, but I didn't see it until I was there. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of us here for different reasons, with different skills, and then a lot of us found our skills while we were there. But yeah, I learned to open my mind a lot more when I was at Job Corps, meeting different types of people from all over the place, and all different types of backgrounds. Like it wasn't just the troublemakers there. Some of these people had their lives right, and they chose to take this free education and run with it. So it's like, man, like, what have I been thinking? Like this is nuts. So yeah, just opened my eyes to different types of people for sure.
Was there any adult mentors there that really had impact on you in a positive way, or were some of them, just more very strict?
Yeah, I had both. We had both. I think it was, I think anybody that went to Job Corps around the same time I did would say Mr. Martinez was cool, man. He was chill, laid back, but he kept it real. And that's one thing that did hit me, even with my kids. Like to this day, I try to keep it real with my kids, Like, yeah, I think that's the best thing you can do as a parent. Is like just be straight up. Like, listen, you may need to, PG-13 it down, the type of tone or language, but yeah, he kept it real with us and how life was. And then there was a couple of older Black gentlemen there that held themselves at a high standard that I haven't seen before. You know what I mean? The suits and the taking care of their face and the way they walk and the way they talk and all these things. I was like, wait, we can do that? I thought we all ran the streets and would, what I'm saying, had to sell, dress like this and, that type of stuff. That wasn't shown to me a lot. So I didn't know that we, quote unquote, could do that. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, so your first, positive Black mentors, role models, or it was almost like oh, that's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't know that. I thought we listened to T.I. and Ludacris and Jeezy and Gucci, and we thinking, oh, that's what we got to do. You know what I'm saying? But it's like to them, nah, and they were successful in their own right. Yeah. Yeah, man. I like that. That's good. It's because a lot of times, I think some of the reasons I got so lost is because I didn't really have any mentors. Yeah. No one to really give me an image of what a good man looks like. And, we are listening to that type of music that's painting this picture of this, what is supposed to be dope. Yeah. You know what I mean? And really what comes with that is nothing dope.
No, nothing at all.
Just a lot of pain and nothing.
Confusion.
Yeah,
there's a lot of confusion out of that. Like it was like I didn't understand. I didn't know which way to go. You know what I'm saying? To the artists, it's just them speaking their truth. But we don't get that as consumers. We think that's cool. We look at you as cool, and we think what you talk about is cool, and we like, oh, that's the route we got to take to be cool.
And unfortunately, a lot of what those people are saying isn't the truth. You
Exactly.
know, there are
Yeah.
the real ones. We all know that, but there
Yeah.
are a lot of them that paint a picture of something they've never experienced in their life or even been close to. But they're marketed to appear to be that way,
That's
and
it.
it keeps people down.
That's it.
You know, and keeps them doing things. I mean, it's brainwashing. You know what I mean? So
At its finest.
yeah. Well, we'll save some of that more for a little bit later. So when do you start doing music? You started pretty young then with being around your cousin, and then when did you like start recording when did you record your first song?
Yeah, I started doing music elementary when watching my cousin and going to my auntie's house, and that's when I learned how to write. That's when I learned how to count bars at a young age.
Wow.
And then
It's amazing.
I started recording, man, I think it was right before high school when we started recording, and we were recording on some bootleg software. I think it was a Cool Edit Pro. We had, we had the cracked version of it. You know what I'm saying? Which is not legal. So, don't bootleg your software, guys. But anyway, we had that, and we had like the little headset. We were recording on that, and we were recording mixtapes. You know what I'm saying? And then later down the line, when MySpace dropped, we were putting it on MySpace, all type of stuff. But yeah, I've been at it since middle school, and then high school got a little more serious as far as like audio is concerned, and then after Job Corps, I started really getting into audio a lot more. So I was like 18, 19. And then, that's when I was in Tacoma a lot more. I was going to Bates Technical College and doing their, I think it was, what was it? It wasn't necessarily audio, but it had something to do with like production, something like that. But we were learning, audio engineering skills and stuff like that there. So, yeah, middle school was it for me, though. Yeah, I learned a lot in middle school about music. Started nerding out about music. I was the guy, like, cats would come from Seattle or whatever, and they would be like my homeboy's cousins or something, and we go to the house, and I had the microphone dangling off a hook on the porch closet. Yeah. So that was the booth. That was our first booth. We didn't have no acoustic treatment. We didn't know what none of that was. I mean, we just had this microphone, and we can connect it straight into the back of the what we have. What is that called? I forgot the name of it. But anyway, it was just a tower, a computer tower. Plug it right into that, and we were good. We were golden. That's all we needed.
That's awesome, man. I just didn't realize, that you've been doing it for so long, man. Like, it's really, really cool to learn more about you on that front.
Yeah, bro.
This has like been your calling since day one.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah, that's pretty sweet, because that doesn't happen for most of us, where we know from such a young age what we want to do. Yeah. So that's like,
man, I wish I got pushed to do it more.
Yeah.
Low-key, I just didn't, structure. That's why even today, like, I try to create that structure for, people that want to do music, because it needs to be structured. You need to be pushed to do it. Like, get around the homies that like, hey, you need studio, go to the studio. So
and given that availability for youngins to realize, like, no, I can really do this, and these people can teach me, and they know that it's possible. And that, I think that's one of the major things. Like, me and LQ, when I was getting cut today, we were talking about that, like how you get the youth to really believe that they can do more than this other stuff that's not going to lead them anywhere, but they don't know or have the resources most of the time to really believe that they could do something that's positive and beneficial and going to provide them an amazing lifestyle. So they're just going to revert to this other stuff,
Yeah.
you know. And if we can get people to really realize, like you said, like tell people from a young age and encourage them from a young age, the more that we can motivate, the more that are going to really believe they could go do something in life.
Yeah.
And like most children are told they can't, you know, like you aren't good enough. That's too hard.
Yeah. Or it's not
This,
likely.
that. Yeah. It's not likely.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it is likely.
Yeah.
You just can't give up. You
Yeah.
know, like you got to
That's the
stay with
secret.
it. And as long as you do that, you could probably get it done.
Exactly.
You know? So,
You know?
and you know, that kind of rhetoric from people needs to stop. At least I'm going to put an end to it on my generation of kids, you know, and the kids that I'm around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like you said, with Mr. Martinez, keeping it real.
Keeping
Like,
it real, yeah.
you know, you gotta keep it real, but you can't treat children as if they don't have the skill sets to be whatever they want to be or do whatever they want to do,
Right.
you know, or that they're not developed enough. You know, of course, you have to guide them and but encourage them.
Yeah.
You know, you don't just pop their balloon as soon as they blew it up. You know, like,
Right.
and you see people do that all the time.
Man, every time.
So, what was your skill that you were training for in Job Corps?
I was training for carpentry.
Carpentry.
Yeah. So my whole thing was I wanted to build my mom a house. When I got out, I wanted to have all
like
the
that.
tricks to the trade, all this to build my mom a house. But look, yeah, I quickly learned that I did not have, you know, at the end of that, it's going to take me more than a year to learn how to build my mom a house from the ground up. But that was the whole premise, man. That's what really kept me going while I was in there. I was like, man, I'm going to finish this. I'm going to stay out of trouble while I'm here, which is hard, which is really hard because some people are really annoying in there.
Yeah.
And at that time, I still had a temper. You know, I was still coming in guarded. Q will be the first to tell you. He was like, T.S. wasn't smiling. He was mugging. He was all cocky and all these things. He'll tell you that. And but I just had my guard up because that's, you know.
Yeah, you come from the streets, man.
Yeah, that's what you do. Your
you
guard's up. You're
don't
paranoid.
trust nobody.
Yeah, and all these things, and you know. So when I was done though, I was like, I did great, bro. Like I was the lead in my carpentry area, and I was doing great. But just one incident, man, where I just kind of reverted back to just snapping, not thinking it through, and just. Well, to be honest, I did. I kept it pretty balanced. Man, yeah, we had some stories, bro. We got into some stuff while we were there, but
Like just some things.
yeah, we brawled, bro. There was a brawl that happened in town. There's fights that happened on campus. We were terrible kids. We were like in our dorm. We had boxing gloves, right, and we just all get in a room and just. Man, you, let's just duke it out. Everybody was boxing, and we were just bad kids, bro. Just you're not supposed to do that. And we were recording it, so I had the camera, and I was recording all the fights. Where I was like, "You want to see this fight?" You know, hustling that off and stuff, bro.
For
Like,
sure.
oh man, $5, man. Let's see the fight, bro.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, we did that too. just in Medical Lake, you know, just like out in the park, knocking each other around for sure.
Yeah, just bad.
How long was Job Corps?
It usually takes. It depends on what you go for. So you want to complete your training, and if you're there for education, you want to complete either your GED or get your high school diploma. I got my GED as soon as I could. So I was 17 when I got my GED, and then it took me another year to finish my carpentry. But I think I was waiting on something to complete something, and then that's when I had gotten into a fight, and they was like, "Yeah, you're done, yo. You got to go."
Oh, so you got kicked out of Job Corps?
Technically, I finished all of my training.
Yeah,
but yeah, they gave me the boot.
They gave you the boot. No.
Yeah, just snapped and bro.
Shit happens, man.
It happened. it happened. I look back at it now, I'm like, you moron, bro. I wasn't even serious. And it really wasn't that serious. I didn't.
But, when you're in from the wisdom you've gained, you see it that way.
Yeah.
But you can't see it that way at that time, man.
Yeah.
Especially when you're in a mentality that comes from street culture. You know, it's don't
adrenaline.
Like anybody tests you.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? You know, like. So, or you slight me, or you make a joke.
That's what it was.
Yeah, you slighting me, bro. Like,
it was like
down.
It was like, because he was a fairly nerdy guy. It wasn't nothing like that. It was like I was telling him to do something because I was a lead. Like I did good. I stayed out of trouble for the most part, and I became a lead in both my dormitory and in my trade. Mm-hmm. And I said, "Hey man, let's go." I think it was time for count. I'm telling you, bro. It's like they had to bring us all in and count us to make sure we were there at a particular time.
Very like militant almost.
Yeah, it was like 3 counts a day or something like that. And I was trying to tell this guy, "Hey, come on, man, it's time for count." He's like, "No, man, I'll be there when I'm like," and I grabbed him like, "Come on, man, it's time." He said, and just took his arm back. And I just blacked out from that. Next thing you know, my homeboy pulling me off. He was like, "Man, what you doing?" I'm like, "Dang, man." It was a wrap after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Well,
it happens.
But that's what those are the kind of stories I do want to hear on the podcast, because, we all, well, not all of us have been there, but I have. I couldn't tell you how many fights I've been in my life, but way too many, that's for sure.
Unnecessary.
And a lot of them were unnecessary.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say all of them are. I think sometimes you got to throw hands with people.
Got to, man.
But, I know everybody wouldn't agree with that factor, but, I think if you as men can understand, like, well, let's really see, but we're not going to take it further than that. And you hold that respect in a gentleman's bout. Yeah, essentially, like, I don't really foresee why at times things have to go there because sometimes that's the only way you're going to really learn.
That's it.
A lot of people run around here that never been touched acting like complete assholes. Yeah. And the only reason they act that way is because they haven't had their ass whooped. Yeah. And as soon as you get a real ass whooping, you're going to check yourself before you say something funny to somebody that maybe can whoop your ass.
That'll change your life. Yeah.
But a lot of, and you get a lot, if you a real one, you get a lot more respectful once you get an ass whooping.
Yeah, bro.
And to be a man, you gotta have had an ass whooping.
Yeah. Because I won fights, I lost fights, and learned something from each one of them. It's just experience to me,
But that's just my opinion of what it takes to be a man. I think you have to get your ass whooped, but I'm not. That's my opinion.
It's like being a kid and you get in trouble and you go home and your parents, discipline you. You know what I'm saying? You just learn a lesson like that too.
Yeah, because the pain, man. I mean, to go through that type of pain when you really got your ass whooped, it's not like the movies, yo. Nah. Like you might not be seeing out an eye for a month. You might be real hurt, it sucks. But you get stronger from it too, Yeah, you do. And I'm thankful in retrospect for some of my ass whoopings.
That's a fact.
So
yeah, me too.
Okay, so you were in Job Corps for about 2 years?
A little over a year.
Yeah. They decide you got to go.
You got to go, man. You got to go.
And what did you do from there? What did you do once you got out? You transitioned, it sounded like, to go into some more sound school? Or?
Yeah. So I went back to, my mom's at the time was living in Spanaway. And then, so I was traveling from Spanaway. Spanaway is like right outside of Tacoma. Or you would call Spanaway and Tacoma down there the same thing. But so I'll be in Tacoma going to school a lot for Bates Technical College. I went to like 3 different campuses. Bates had 3 I don't even think Bates is around anymore, but they had a couple of different campuses that you had to go to, and each campus had different classes. Imagine going to, you had classes at SFCC and you had classes at SCC in the same day, so you're traveling back and forth.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so Bates had 3 different campuses I was traveling to on the bus for quite some time, but I didn't have any space to actually do the things I was learning in school. So that's one thing about me that has always been the same. Like I have to be hands-on in order to learn. I just can't be reading out of a book and think that I got it.
Right.
So I was traveling when I was done with school. I would get on the bus and go to Renton. My homeboy Caleb lived out there, and I had known Caleb since since elementary, but we reunited at Job Corps. So he was living in Renton, and he had like a little space behind his mom's house. So it was almost like a garage. It was big as a garage, but it wasn't a garage. And he had his bed back there, a couch, but he also had like this little area tucked off in the corner too, to where like, you know, you got your booth in the back and, you know, you can kind of set up some equipment. So I was like, okay, we started buying equipment, and then I was able to use what I was learning in Tacoma, traveling back and forth to Renton at my homeboy's house. So that's what I was doing.
Sounds like, man, Job Corps really connected you with some lifelong friends, almost like LQ.
Yep.
Especially like I don't know if I knew that. Maybe I do remember it, because I think I remember you guys talking about there being like some studio you set up at Job Corps too.
Yeah,
like
so,
some little.
Yeah, there was I had snuck in, because in Job Corps you wasn't allowed to bring in technology, like not technology, but like electronics.
Yeah,
I snuck in my laptop, and on my laptop I had the software that I used to record. So and then I had the headset, so I was recording a little bit at Job Corps too, you know. But they had some equipment there the whole time I didn't know about. So I was like, oh, that's weird. But yeah, I met Q there. I met his wife there. You know what I'm saying?
I met his wife too.
Yep. Wow. Rosalia. Yep. I met them both there. They were dating there.
They were dating.
Yeah, they were dating.
Did they meet there too?
Yep, they met there too.
What?
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts, bro.
Man.
It's a whole. They've been together for a lifetime now.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, I think most of the people I talked to, met at Job Corps.
That is insane, yo.
It's nuts.
Like, I'm honestly like blown away by that.
It's weird.
Like, you met your wife there
because
of it. Not that she was there, but you met her through it. He met his wife there. You met him there. You guys are best friends. Like, been partners for a long time, man. Wow. That's, you know, even though you didn't get to finish it, the royalties that you are still getting from it, man, are insane.
Yeah, I think it saved my life, bro. And I think Q would attest to it the same. Like, we were there for same but different reasons. You know what I mean? So yeah.
I'm gonna have LQ on, and we've talked a little bit about his past, and I know that'll be really good too.
Yeah, he's got a story. Yeah, he has a story, and he has a type of story that inspire anybody from what he was able to maneuver. Like I said, like, I wanted to be from the streets, you know what I'm saying? But there's guys that really, you know, was either wanted to or about that, and Q was one of those guys. He was just in it. That was like, that's in his blood type of thing. So he's out, man.
And I love those are definitely the type of stories I really want to feature a lot on this podcast, man. It's like when you really came from some real darkness and you were able to get yourself up out of it and do what like LQ has done in yourself, man. But okay, well, cool. So you did the Job Corps thing, you got out, you're going to Bates, right?
Bates Technical College,
and that was a tech school that you were going for audio engineering. And what happened with that whole program? Did you get a degree from it? Or?
Nah. I'm terrible. I was terrible at school, so
you got what you needed and we're out again, basically.
Kinda. I didn't take it as seriously as I should have, for sure, because I was so excited to be learning this stuff. I just wanted to use it already. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I just wasn't doing good in school though. You know, the other classes I had to take, it was just, I've just never been a good student for school. I just never worked for me.
I feel you, man. I went to school. I went to the Falls and I never finished. I went there and then I got a job one summer, and I was like a job at a place where it was conducive for what I was trying to do with clothing. And I just never went back to school because I was like, I'd rather be doing it for real than like learning about business in school.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah. So
Time is passing, and
relate
like
with that.
Yeah, it just wasn't. I don't know. So I didn't finish it. I ended up kind of flunking out of it. And but yeah, I was still using what I was learning for sure there while I was there. And then obviously there was I don't think YouTube was that popular at the time either. So it wasn't like I can just YouTube my way to audio engineering, you know. So we were just kind of I was still peeping what my cousins were doing in Tacoma, because I was still around them at the time. And then they had a setup in Tacoma that I would visit a lot. So I'm just like sitting there half the time watching them, you know what I'm saying, seeing what they're doing, and that became my school. Yeah, like real life though. Like we was in an area of activity. So I got to again meet and be around cats that were like live that life. So I was like, oh, okay, this is for real. It's bad, you know.
Yeah. So yeah, you're back with your cousins. You're back around some real life scenarios, you know, like kind of just in certain environments where there's some dudes that are in some real deep lifestyles. Yeah. Were you being pulled back in? How were you keeping yourself separated? Did you fall back into that for a bit? Or were you able to like really just stay focused on doing the music? And
it was focused on the music. And my I call him my cousin now because he's damn near my cousin. But Josh, they call him Isaiah, who's my manager now. His whole purpose was to have a space for kids to go to and like not be a part of that life and not go down that route.
That's awesome.
Because that place was a studio, but it was also he held karate classes and self-defense classes there too. So it was kids coming in there learning karate. He had brought in a master to teach a class. So yeah, cats were fighting in there, but they were learning how to fight, you know what I mean, and defend themselves.
And be controlled.
Yeah, exactly. And control them angers and all that. And he needed that too. And he'll be the first one to tell you he needed that. And so I kind of went down that path of like trying to change like my dynamic a lot more for sure. And in that type of environment, I still knew everybody though, you know what I mean? But I didn't have to go like dive into that life. Cause again, I got hip to other ways to live and other ways to get it, you know?
Did you experience like some of them homies are like, they didn't even want you to be doing all that. They were like, no, bro, like you doing this, focus on that, bro. Like, don't, you know, like this isn't what you want. Like you got something good. So you probably even did you have homies that were like, no, bro, don't come this way with that. Yeah. Like stay doing what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's good, man.
I had that almost like it was always the older guys.
Yeah.
Like those are real OGs. Like when people talk about OGs and stuff, like when we'll be out and about. I remember me and my homeboy, Amari, and his homeboys, we were just out and about one day and ran into some OGs and they was like, stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like those are the people that people like call OGs and stuff like they don't want you out here because they know you don't need to be out here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not survival mode out here. You don't need to. So they're like, stay out of trouble. Like, hey, go home. Don't come over here. It's hot out here. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. Like that's when checking in and that type of stuff and that type of lingo comes in handy. It's like, well, you need to know what's going on. So like those are the people you call and they'll be like, yeah, stay away from out here. It's too much going on out here. So
yeah, man. I didn't have any real OGs in my life, you know, or anything. Like I wish I would have, you know, and that goes back to being, you know, mentors. Because now I know I can help youngins that are going down certain roads that I was, and give them real solid advice from a real standpoint of experience. You know, because like the only things my dad would say to me is just like, I just want you to be happy. Like, but that don't teach me nothing.
Yeah.
You know, like that don't help me at all to learn how to critically think about what I'm doing in the situations I'm putting myself in.
Right.
You're not giving me any standpoint. You know, he never even, you know, he's from a whole different era and stuff. So, I mean, for him to relate with me is a little difficult, but that's good to know, you know, like even because, you know, a lot of people have this preconceived notion like OGs are a lot of times trying to get the youth to be involved and stuff. And in street culture, there's all sorts of things like that do go on. But a lot of them that have grown up and been through it, they're like, yo, like this is not what you want. You know, like some of us are stuck in it for life, but if you got something going on, go do that. Yeah. You know, like don't waste your energy over here on this kind of stuff. Yeah. So when did you transition over to Spokane? I remember you said the year was 2013.
Yeah, I think it was like 2013 because maybe it was more like 2014 because my kids celebrated their second birthday out here. So yeah, I transitioned from Moses Lake to out here. I had Lydia move out to the west side for some time. And then she got pregnant and it was like, I need to be around my family. I was like, I understand that. And so we decided to move to Moses Lake. And we were out there. This is probably another turning point because I remember you were asking me like some turning points of like where it got hard and the struggle was real. This is probably a big one because I thought about suicide when we were living in Moses Lake.
Really?
And yeah, it was not too long after the kids were born, and I was working there's a bunch of plants out there. Like if you're living in the Moses Lake area, like you're probably working at some type of plant or factory or something like that. And I was working at one, and I think I did a show, but I called out for that show. I did all the precautions you're supposed to do and take a day off, whatever. And but when I get back, they pretty much let me work the shift, and then they fired me. So here I am, 21, 22-year-old kid with twins, never had kids before. Like, I don't know what to do. I didn't have one. I had two kids at the same time. Like, what am I supposed to do with that? And a girl that's home all day, she's not working, she's taking care of the kids, and I get fired. And where I'm parked at for this job, there's a cliff. So we're literally looking over like some mountains and stuff. There's a cliff, and I'm just like, man, I could just end it all right now. Nothing's clicking right now. Like here, like, how am I supposed to take care of my kids? I can't even keep a job and all these things. So that was one of my lowest and darkest points right there. Just looking over that cliff, just ready to press the gas and just cool, call it a wrap, you know? Yeah. But luckily I didn't. And
thank God.
Yeah, and went back to figure it out. You know what I mean? Luckily I ended up with a better job. Temporary, but it was a better job. Then that was over. Then I ended up with an even better job, money wise, not labor wise. All these are labor intensive jobs. Because if I'm at a desk, I'm gonna fall asleep. I just, you know, so I gotta be moving at this point in my life. And so the money kept going. Unless it's music, yeah. Even then, I got some stories for that too. It was. What was it? I was since I lost that job though, we didn't have any income. So before I got the better jobs and whatnot, we didn't have anywhere to stay. Like our lease was up. It was a 6-month lease. So we had to move in with LQ and his wife. And at the time they had a daughter. So yeah, it's 3 of them. And now it's about to be 4 more. And you know, they had a nice area that they were living in at the time, but it's 7 people living in this space. They had an extra room for us. So I was on the floor with twins
Was this in Spokane at the?
No, this is before Spokane.
You were still in Moses Lake when you moved in with LQ?
Yeah.
Because he was living there too.
Yeah. Me and Q were in Spokane, yeah. And our other homeboy, Dante, was in Spokane. Not Spokane,
Moses
Lake, yeah.
Oh,
and we
Wait, I'm sorry. 1 second.
Yeah.
Is LQ's wife from Moses Lake, or why was he there?
No, I think she's from Royal City, but it's still in that area.
Okay.
She's from that area.
All right.
Yeah. So she's very familiar with that area.
Yeah.
But yeah, we was out there and then lost a job, just bad. So here I am with twins and a girl, and we're like living in my homeboy's floor pretty much.
Yeah.
And I forgot how long we were there, but I'm like, man, there's like, we had like 5 blankets on the floor, and I have kids. Man, I just had kids. I'm like,
yeah,
so that was pretty dark. But then I had a job. I got a job making a good amount of money. We were able to move out, got a nice little townhouse, and then I lost that job, and they let me go. And they was like, there's just no more work. I'm like, goodness gracious, bro. And this is like a year in, and Lydia looked at me and I was like, what are we gonna do? Well, there's no point in being here. LQ left for Spokane as soon as we moved out. So we moved out just in time, and then they came out here. And so yeah, a year later we ended up moving to Spokane because there was nothing out in Moses Lake for me anymore, for any of us. And Spokane had Spokane Falls Community College, which had an audio engineering program.
Yeah.
So that pretty much was the nail in the coffin. It was like, yeah, we're gonna move out here. We know LQ, so we good there. We know Mikey, we good there. So yeah, that's kind of what brought us out here.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
This is like just getting to Spokane has been one hell of a story.
Oh man, went through some stuff.
So I want to touch on the, that dark place where you were thinking about taking your life.
Yeah.
What, like, was it just in that moment? Like, had there been thoughts of that before that moment, or it was just like right in that moment?
It was right there, bro.
You're just like, I'm just not worthy to like even be the one trying to raise these kids. They'll be better off if I take my own life.
Yeah, that was exactly what it was. I've never felt that way about myself before, ever. I've always been somewhat confident about myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you can see it on my face that I'm confident about myself.
Yeah, no doubt.
But this was
just
like,
basically like I'm not even I'm
not
worthless.
worthy.
I can't even take care of my children.
Yeah, exactly. I can't, you know what I'm saying? I can't, how can I sit here and call myself a man or any of these things, and I can't even keep a job, and it was just, I think they'll be better off without me type of thing, for sure. Yeah.
And it sounds like that obviously had a pretty strong hold on you for a few moments there. Mm-hmm. How have you like moved past like meeting that place? Like, what did it have residue afterwards? Like with like, I can't even believe I was thinking about doing something like that. Were you able to like really just switch back to being like, yo, that was just a low moment, that doesn't have a hold? Because a lot of times people who have that thought once have it again, and it's something that reoccurs.
Yeah.
Was that something that happened with you, or was like really that was the only time that you've experienced feeling that darkness where those thoughts have crept into your mind?
Yeah, no, that was the first time, but it wasn't the only time.
Yeah,
because
I've had it a lot.
Yeah, so. I had it a handful of times, but
yeah,
it happened again. It was surrounded by a job again, and it was surrounded by, I think I was going to school at the time, and I'm still an artist, so I'm still traveling and doing shows and trying to do that. And another job let me go. Boom, like literally two. It was back to back. I got let go of 2 jobs, and I was like, dude, like, what am I supposed to do? Like, that's probably why I am how I am now, and why I look at jobs how I look at jobs now, because it's like all you hear is like job security and all this stuff. I'm like, bro, if work runs out, there is no job security, bro.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. Like, so
yeah.
But yeah, my other lowest moment was when I lost another job. It's like, dude, I can't take care. I'm looking at my family like I don't think I'm meant to take care of you. Like, I can't keep a job. I really can't. I'm not, you know what I'm saying, meant to do that. And I'm thinking as like, there's no other way. Like, I have to be working to take care of you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate to a lot of that, man. I mean, defeatist thoughts are something that can be very prevalent, you know, and especially I feel like people that really have that yearning to do great things in life deal with them the most. Yeah. Because you have such high aspirations. They're hard to meet. And when you can't meet them, you don't feel worthy. Yeah. And you know you're better than that, but you don't know how to even get there sometimes. So you're like, man, I'm delusional. Yeah. I might as well just fucking end it. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I'm not meant to be here type of thing.
But that's, you know, the biggest thing is always knowing like that's not the truth. You know what I mean? Like the biggest value that your kids need from you was just to be in their life.
That's it.
You know, like nothing more. Like, you know, everything will work out, you know, but that's the most value that you can bring to the table. And, you know, thank God like that you didn't make that decision then, man. Yeah. Because you have a beautiful family and like all the things you're doing now are so amazing. But
yeah, thank you.
It's those places are scary, man. Yeah. The trickery of the universe of the experience that we live, like it'll lead you to that place and you don't even know how you get there sometimes, or you know, or it feels like the universe is conspiring against you. Like, yo, are you gonna even let me free? I'm trying to do everything right here. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't deal with this. I don't even want to be here anymore. You know,
like, what's the point?
Like what the point? Like you are not going to let me take care of my kids. Yeah. You know, like that's what it feels like, you know, in that situation. Like that's what I can't do anything right here. So might as well just fucking get out of here. Yeah. But same time, that's just like, you know, that's the evil that's trying to trick you. That's the way I look at it. You know, there's all these tests that come through your life. And I really do believe that there's energies at work that really try to bring you down to your lowest point and try to break you. And it's a test of your will and your resolution. You know, like how are you going to find a resolution in that darkness and not accept that and try to figure a way back out of it. You know, I've known a few people that have taken their lives, and it's just it's really sad, man, that any of us could even think, you know, that our experiences can be so negative that we have to feel that need to get out of here so bad. Yeah. Because I know what me and you both want is to create amazing experiences for people. You know, like that's what we want to do. But being that we've also been down to such hard experiences is probably what gives us that drive to like want to give people positive experiences so that they don't have that feeling, you know, or at least we can help them not have that feeling for the time that we curated whatever product or whatever we delivered. Yeah. I mean, that's how I've always really thought about what I'm trying to do for a long time is like, I just want whatever I create to give somebody an experience that uplifts them, you know, and makes them feel like they love being here.
Yeah, and feel like they can, you know, create an impact or do what it is they feel like they're called to do. You know what I mean? Like that ambition, that thing that you want, like that's not your choice. That was put in you. You know what I'm saying? That's natural. Like there's a reason why I want what I want. You know what I mean? And it has nothing to do with my time on this earth. That just came with me when I came here. you know? So yeah,
I like that, man. Because I think a lot of those same things, more on the like metaphysical previous lives, like I'm all into those theories, you know.
Yeah. Have you remember that book I was telling you about? Oh, what was it? It had something to do with the souls.
Journey of the Souls, or
I think something like that. But Q put me on that book.
Dang, did I read that one?
It was an audio book too. So you may have just.
I remember us talking about it.
Yeah. I think I sent it to you, and but Q put me on that book, and it was talking about that. It was talking about it got. Let's just say it got deep.
Yeah. No, I love those. I love those concepts because I find this world and this experience incredibly mysterious, you know, and to try to filter it down to somebody telling me they know the truth about our experience here. Like, well, we obviously don't know the real truth of our experience because of all the issues that we face and the depressions and all that. Like, so for me, I think I love looking at the world and its mysteries, you know, because like it's just incredibly odd that I'm sitting here right now talking to you through these headphones and this microphone. You know, I love thinking about how like funny things really are, you know, and like we try to conceptualize them to keep our mind in a place of understanding our environment. But like if you really take a moment, which I try to do a lot, I'm like, yo, this is just weird. Like it's weird, you know? Yeah. And like now that I'm this much, I'm like 33 now. Like when I wake up, I find it weird, you know? I'm like, I'm still here another day. Another day.
Yeah, another opportunity.
And I don't know if you can really conceptualize the fact like, you know, live every day to your fullest or whatever until you reach a certain age, because you're like, well, yeah, it's just like, but once you really reach a certain plateau, you're like, yeah, no, like I got another day here. You know, it's not so new to you, you know, and I don't know.
I'm there with you.
Yeah.
For sure.
We'll have to have a more metaphysical conversation on another podcast.
Right.
We'll get back on track because I love that stuff, but
me too.
We'll stay on track with your story this time. All right. Okay, let's get into this. This is something I was very interested in. What is the meaning of your name, T.S. The Solution?
I love this story.
Yeah,
I do. Growing up, my pop was around. He would call me Tay. So when I started rapping, it was Lil Bow Wow, it was Lil Romeo, it was Lil Zane, it was Lil. I was like, Lil Tay makes perfect sense, right? So I started rapping under that. But then I've seen, again, my cousin was my role model, growing up. So he had a hard street name that they called him. We called him C Scraps.
C Scraps?
Yeah, C Scraps.
That sounds like a serious dude.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, I want a hard name like that too.
No doubt.
So I said T Savage. I became,
I like that.
You know what I'm saying? So when I was, with the homies, it was Savage. It was, the Hey T or T Savage, whatever. And I was like, bet. But when that got old, you know what I'm saying? Because we started losing people, whether it be death or jail or whatever. It was like, it was a sense of loneliness and me not wanting to be around that no more or anything like that. And I was like I just want to be by myself.
Like T Savage had too much of a negative connotation.
Exactly. Yeah. It was just, there's only one way to look at T Savage. It was like, bro, like I'm like I said, I'm tapped in emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, this can't be it. So I changed and I started going by T Solo. Which is still had the TS, like it was T Savage and T Solo, and I would like write that on my notebooks in school. It would be like, you know what I'm saying, the T's would have something to do with each other, and then the S's would have something to do with each other, and I started going by T Solo, and then I was like, I don't, what was it? I think it was Job Corps or after Job Corps, and I was like, I don't want to be by myself anymore. I'm starting to meet people. I'm starting to build relationships and go about that, and I'm starting to change my mindset and get my mind right. And I was like, but those things are T Savage is still a part of me. You know, he's still in there. T Solo is still in there. I still have the moments where I just want to be on myself. So I was like, you know what, that's TS. Like TS is me. Like I'm both of those guys, and I'm also just me in general. I'm TS, but The Solution became who I wanted to be. Like I want to work myself to that. I don't want no more T Savage, no more T Solo, but be the solution to somebody. Whether it's my solution to myself, my kids, my wife, the community, environment, whatever that looks like. That's what I want to be. So that's where the name comes from. TS doesn't stand for The Solution. That's why there's only one dot.
Yeah.
Like I did that purposely to where it's like there's not two dots, because I don't want people to think that TS is short for The Solution, because I'm not the solution, or I don't view myself like that yet. That's like a constant. That'll always be something I strive for, you know. So yeah, that's where the name comes from. It's T.S The Solution. Yeah, that's it. So please, on the articles and the show posters, let's keep out the second dot. You know,
I know we got your back here, dude.
I appreciate
we
you,
made
man.
sure to do the single dot. So your real name is Devontae, though, and that's where Tay comes from.
Yeah, that's where Tay comes from. Yeah, that's the end of Devontae.
All right. Yeah. I like that, man. I'm glad to know that.
Yeah.
That'll be a cool little clip to put up, man. We can really get that in. Keep the dot. The
Just
second
the
dot, don't put that in there.
Yeah. Get that out of there, man. Get it out. I ain't going to call out names.
We don't do second dots on his name, bro.
Just the one, you know?
Yeah. All right. Cool, man. So we've touched on your family, Lydia, your wife. She runs a company called La Pica Chica.
Pica Chica, everything. That's right.
Yeah, give them the rundown about La Pica Chica.
Man, La Pica Chica came out the quarantine, man. Like we were trapped in a house. I think we were both working from home. It was either before I started working this weird job that I was like, okay, I'm never gonna work a job again. But it was that, and she had her job, and she was a big TikTok scroller. And she'll be the first to tell you she loves TikTok. And but she starts seeing these candies being made in Texas and in California of American candy, your Gushers, your Skittles, your regular candies, but they're like Mexicanized. They have the tahini on it, or the different
Love tahini.
You know what I'm saying? The different flavors and of Mexican candies that you would usually get from your, Mexican store or whatever. Like growing up in California, we hitting the Mexican stores. We were doing the Lucases and the Suckers and all that. And she seen it. She was like, I can do that. I'm like, man, give it a shot. So we went to go get some candy, went to go get some, some tahini, and put it together. I was like, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. But then we started playing around with recipes. And we went back to the Mexican store, getting different spices, seasoning, candies, all this. Kept playing with Gushers a lot. We were like, we were going to get Gushers down packed.
I love Gushers.
Oh, I love it. Those are my favorites, yo. So best believe I was happy to taste test all of this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. For free, by the way.
I don't know. Why didn't you call me though?
We're quarantined. Nobody's coming over.
COVID.
Yeah, man. COVID was interesting, but we're just testing out different recipes, and she got it, and she was like, "Man, I'm gonna do this on Skittles and gummy bears and all these things," and I was like, "This is really good." So at the time, I was really big on credit. Right. And learning credit. These are one of the things that I didn't know about growing up. Nobody's ever taught me anything about credit. So I was like I joined a couple of different little courses online learning about credit. So we got credit right. And then we was like, man, let's use a credit card. Let's go get everything you need, package it up, and try to sell it. It's like, cool. That's exactly what she did, man. Packaged it up, started an IG page, started selling them from the Instagram page, and it just took off. She got a logo, all that, right? So the cool thing about it is it started on credit, and when she sold all that, she paid the credit card off, and she had a little bit of profit. Cool. She just kept doing that. Credit card paid off, and it's like yo, you pretty much just started a company out of nothing. You didn't. There was $0 put into La Pica Chica.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it was like, look at her. She's doing her thing now. Now it's, man. She's going to different pop-ups and markets all across Washington. She started her own pop-up like crew. She Se Puede, where they do pop-up markets, and they build a platform for women-owned businesses to come sell their stuff, man, in different cities. It's dope.
Yeah.
All off the quarantine, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that was nuts. So
That's awesome.
COVID was such a bittersweet moment because of the lives lost. You know what I'm saying? I lost my grandma to COVID on my dad's side. And, and many of us lost loved ones due to COVID. But at the same time, we were also got, you know what I'm saying, used to being at home so much. We learned a lot. We were around our family a lot more. The kids were at home. They were doing school online. We were at home. We were working from home. I was doing music from home. Everything was at the crib, so we had to figure out how to navigate all this. Man, she ended up starting La Pica Chica. I think I think it was 6 months, 7 months later, ended up quitting her job. Full time La Pica Chica.
I remember us talking about it before she did, and you were encouraging her to.
Absolutely.
And she wasn't sure she was ready.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, we good. Like, you need to do this. And now, full time with it.
Yeah. Now you know my history with jobs and why I feel a certain way with them too.
Yeah.
It's like, man,
just
so
create your own security as best you can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's doing great. La Pica Chica, everything, and I try to, shout that out as loud as like. I'm so proud of her, man. It's just cool to watch it go from zero to where it's at now, bro. It's like, it's so dope.
Yeah, man, that's she crushed it, bro. Within a short time to be able to transition out of a job and do what she does now full time is. She got something going on. Yeah,
she know it too, and she got the family behind it too. She got her mom help. She got her sister's help. She has my help. We're teaching the kids how to, you know what I'm saying, talk to customers that come up to the table. My daughter's doing that, and they help with, you know what I'm saying. They help with candy creation and ideas. Like my daughter's super into it, bro. Like she's soaking up all the game, which is what we want. We want the kids to see, how it came to be, like betting on yourself looks like. You know what I'm saying? And hopefully they're getting it.
So your twins, boy and girl, Mariah and Elijah. Yeah. How old are they?
They're about to be 10 in 10 in October.
10 in October.
Yeah.
And are these some young entrepreneurs?
Man, so we trying to teach them a little bit. It's funny, bro. Like yesterday, Darby was trying to shout out my homeboy Darby, by the way, great producer. And he was trying to hire them to like hey, my room needs dusting. How about $5 a week? You know what I mean? Just trying to work it out. And they're like, no. And he was like, why not? And my daughter's like, because I want to work for myself. I want to get my own money. We're trying to tell her, what you mean he's offering you a situation? You work for yourself, but you still got to, So we teaching them, but they hip to it, though. Yeah. They hip to the lingo for sure.
Didn't one of them have a YouTube thing going? Or?
Yeah, so quarantine, we started shooting YouTube content for my daughter and LQ's daughter.
Okay.
Her name is Kiki, so it's Yaya. Yaya is Mariah's nickname, and then Kiara, Kiki is her nickname. Yeah, so it's gonna be Yaya and Kiki's World.
Sounds like a power
move, man. They those two.
Yeah.
But we were shooting it and everything. We got it was mostly about slime. This is where slime was popping, and they both made slime. They love slime. Yeah, we started shooting it, but I got overwhelmed with a bunch of projects. I couldn't have. I didn't make enough time for it. Yeah. It was Dad's fault. She still gets on me to this day. She's like, "What about my YouTube channel?" Yeah.
Well, I mean, she really wants to make it happen.
She does. Yeah. I'm gonna be there. She wants to do a lot, man. Yeah. These kids wanna, YouTube is a job now. It's a career now. And you can be
crazy.
a YouTuber.
It's insane.
Yeah. So, she talks about being a YouTuber, and I'm like, bet,
Yeah, there's kids out there that
killing it. Millions.
Yeah, insane.
That's nuts.
Probably making more money than I ever will at 8 and 10 years old.
Over toy reviews. Nuts.
Man, that's awesome. We know you wear many hats.
Yes.
One of those hats is being a solo artist. Describe like your thought process on the music you create, the message that you're trying to get out there, and just kind of like your process of being do you consider yourself a hip hop artist?
Oh yeah. I'm hip hop artist. Like I love everything about hip hop culture. Both the good and the bad, because they balance themselves out. You need to know the different stories that are being or that are happening. You know what I'm saying, in real time, different parts of the world. Like the fact that we can convey those type of messages through this type of art form is super special. Yeah. But yeah, I'm a hip hop artist, man. I'm a hip hop guy, bro.
To the soul.
Yeah, man.
Cool. Yeah, so I would imagine, just going back to like what's your mission for the career and like the message you're trying to put out there. Obviously, that message has changed since you started doing music in middle school.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like in the things you were involved with and the evolution there. But now at this stage in life, because, like your song Coast is the opening song for our show, and it closes out with it too. I just love the lyrics, and I feel like it speaks a lot to how I think about things and really what I'm trying to do with the show too. The conversations that need to be had. That song is just really great for all that.
Yes. Thank you, bro.
And you represent in Spokane. I don't know another artist from our town that I gravitate to lyrically like I do to your music.
Thank you, bro.
So yeah, what's the message you really trying to get out there? Like what's the mission of your solo career?
Yeah, man. I mean, down to its core is to inspire, man. Like if I can inspire somehow, some way, this person or this kid coming up that wants to do music or just wants to find his purpose in life, his or her purpose in life, or, you know what I'm saying, feels like they got to go down this dark road, but they don't have to, and they can find another way. There's more than one ways into a room. That's something that my mom instilled in me early. There's more than one ways into a room. And if I can somehow portray that in the music to where it can reach a certain person in a different manner that other musicians can't, then cool, perfect. You know what I'm saying? How do I talk the lingo of a lot of people at once? It's like, man, we all need inspiration. We all need inspiration. We need that little gem in the record. For example, like with Coast, it's like that beat is a bop. That beat is a commercial, but like there's messages in that record that some people got to dig for. You know, like even like the beginning of the second verse is like the switch up was needed. Like like on the surface, people think it's the flow, because I did switch the flow on there. I was like, no, that was my mindset. Like, period. The switch up was needed. The family is hungry, and you know what I'm saying. And so yeah, I try to like put the medicine in the candy, if you will, a little bit.
Yeah, because you're like in your music, you're talking about your life. Yeah. Like you're not trying to paint this image, you know, of being this guy, you know. It's like, no, this is how I'm living, and you figure out how to artistically express it. Yeah. You know, whether you're talking about your children, your wife, and just the challenges that you face in doing what you do. Yeah.
Because a lot of the times too is like I be trying to almost inspire those who go through the same things that I went through. Because it's like, when I had kids, I thought I would lose all of my music homies because they were like, oh, he's got kids now. He's out. He's done. You can't do this and have kids. It's like, nah, bro, I can. And let me show you how. And now it's like that dude down the way who thought his life was over. And it's like, oh, like you hear all these people that say, oh, I made sacrifices for my kids, blah, 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 but they're all miserable. It's like, nah, that's not the type of sacrifices I'm trying to make. I still have a life to live. And that's what one thing, like the reason we can talk to people a certain way and inspire and motivate them is because we're authentic with it. So why would I sit there and live a life and be miserable, but tell my kids, you know what I'm saying, hey, live a great life and do this and that and third. And I'm not walking it. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been my mission to be like, man, I gotta show my kids like, hey, I have a passion and I have a purpose, and I'm gonna show y'all that I'm gonna chase it because I want y'all to chase yours as well. You know, so that's super important to me in all these records.
So a lot of that messaging is for and what you do career-wise is for your children.
Yep.
Yeah, to show them like, yo, you can do what you want to do.
No matter the circumstances.
Yeah. Yeah, you do hear that a lot with people that, you know, say, oh, I got, you know, because we had kids. It's a burden. Yeah, and I don't have kids, so I'm not really one to really stand on experience here. But for me, I know once I have kids, I'm just going to go way harder on what I'm already doing.
Yeah.
You know, on whatever it is I want to do.
Yeah.
I'll just have that more extra motivation and ambition. I wouldn't, well, I better get a safe job. I'd be like, no, I'm going to go harder on making these things work out.
Right.
You know, but I guess that's the difference between people that can make it in business or not, because you have to have that type of mentality to even attempt to be in business, let alone start one, and then to maintain all the challenges that come with it.
Yeah.
You got to have that mentality.
Yeah.
And if you're somebody that's like, oh, I got kids, well, you probably shouldn't have been in business anyway. You know, like, you know, like,
yeah, already making them
you
excuses.
already made up an excuse.
Yeah.
Like,
Sheesh.
And, you know, really the lessons that can be afforded to your children, if you are able to balance your business life and teaching them and making sure that you're present in their life still, like they're going to learn so much more from you and your lessons and your experiences on how to be their own person. You know what I mean? Because that is, you know, like building a business is building yourself.
That's a fact.
Like that's what it really is.
That is a fact.
Like when you're building a business centered around what you really love.
Yeah.
Let's say that, because, you know, a lot of people do businesses just to make money. It has nothing to really do with who they are.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just a means to an end, which, you know, get your money grabbed. That's cool. But for individuals like us, we're doing things because there's passion, there's love in it. And that passion and love is who we are. And we're building that up to be greater individuals. You know, the greater our businesses get, the greater that we are getting at the same time, because they're one and the same essentially.
Right.
And when children see that, obviously they're going to think completely different than growing up with parents that have to go to a job, that don't get to really make their own choices at the end of the day. You know, like you have to be at this place at this time and do what this person tells you to do. Individuals like us, like we don't have to, you know, we're able to navigate if we want to make time. You know, if you want to make time for your kid's game or whatever, you could do that. You know what I mean? And having that availability.
Yeah.
So yeah, to inspire, man, I like that. And that's at the core what I feel you really try to do. You know, like that is the sole purpose. It's not to be like number one on the charts. It's not to be, you know, like that's not your motivation at all. No. Be awesome if you ended up there. But,
I mean, those music goals for real. I mean, we got music goals for sure, but like, I'm not never ever dictated by what, you know what I'm saying, what everybody with an opinion has to say about it. You know what I mean? Like Oh, you think that's cool? Cool. To each his own. But like, I still get those DMs like, yo, you helped me out. I really connected with this record, and because this record, I started a business, or I treat my family different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or I spend more time working on myself. Or that's what I do it for. That stuff. I was like I had the homie hit me the other day. You know who he is, and he was like, "Yo, have you heard of Think and Grow Rich? You know, I think this is your type of book." Just that alone is like, you understand me, bro. Like, like you get it. Like that's special.
It's a good book.
It's a great book.
Yeah. Robert Kiyosaki.
The game changer.
Yeah. Oh wait, Think and Grow
not,
Rich.
yeah,
that's not Robert Kiyosaki.
Yeah,
that's Rich Dad Poor Dad. Napoleon Hill. Is Napoleon
Think and Grow
Hill
Rich. Yep.
Is Think and Grow Rich. Mm-hmm. That book is from a long time ago too.
Long time ago.
And he be getting into the metaphysical stuff for sure.
Supposedly that's the stripped down version of what he actually learned. Yeah. So I'm like, oh, okay, there's more to it than just this.
It's interesting from his side of things, because he's definitely like a white man from this whole like corporate rise situation, but the things he talks about are very like metaphysical and out there kind of laws of attraction essentially is the whole premise. But like having your counsel and like different things that he talks about is
there's a quote about that book, and it states that none of the chapters in the book says anything about money. And it's called Think and Grow Rich, but none of the chapters have anything to do with money. Like, dang. Yeah. That alone, bro, this tells you.
I've read it twice. Read it once when I was like in my mid 20s, and then I read it probably when I was like 30 again. I'm gonna read it again here soon.
Man, it's one of those books.
You have to, because like
pick it up again.
It's hard to take it all in, and
it is,
and it takes time to like really develop the discipline to implement.
Execute all that stuff.
That guy like took 20 years following guys around to even just write the book. 20 years just learning before he even wrote the book.
Imagine having the time like that.
Yeah.
Afford the time, the 20 years to just go talk to these people. And
it's crazy. I mean, it worked out so well for him too, to really think like, I'm going to take 20 years before I write this book to like learn and do that research. And it definitely in the business world is like probably one of the top books, top 5 at least.
Always, that comes up always in any type of business conversation for sure. And then Rich Dad Poor Dad was another one for sure.
Yeah, that's what I got. Which that was a good book too. Cool, man. So big news. Panoramic Dreams, is open for business, y'all.
Yes, my baby.
Yeah,
man.
This is something that's been in the works at this location for a long time. You had a studio before that I had been to. Was that a Panoramic Dreams, or did you have a different name at that time?
Yep, it was still Panoramic Dreams. I think the one downtown. Yeah, that space. Yeah, that was still Panoramic Dreams. Very, very infancy stage. That's still there. Like, that was when, we had the shared offices. So we had, architect place down the hall, then massage therapy down the hall, and you know what I'm saying? So we were sharing
multiple
space.
Businesses in there.
Yeah, it's tough to, and it, the space isn't created for audio isolation. So we're all like, just loud music in the afternoon was not
slumping.
It was not gonna work there. So but this is our first freestanding building for the studio, and multiple rooms. Like, those are 2 characteristics that I always wanted in a place to create. So this is big for me for sure. Man.
Yeah, man. So you've been running a recording business for a long time now, and that's always been Panoramic Dreams.
Yeah.
But you haven't really until now had your own like official standing alone studio.
Right.
Not like in a basement, not at, not at that one place. Like, this is like the bada bang, bada boom.
This is man. And it is freaking beautiful, bro. Like, just the opportunity to do something like this, man, it's like the timing was there. Everything, it's crazy when you find your purpose. When you feel like you find your purpose, everything just falls into place. Mm-hmm. It's like I ain't got to force nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Do you want to give them a little just meaning for the name too, for Panoramic Dreams?
Yeah. So I had released a tape called Sleepwalking, and it was with my homeboy Empire Midge. That's my brother. And then my homeboys DJ Dom and the homie Javier. We all went on tour, and then when we got back, we was like, man, we need to do this again. Like we completed a tour, bro. This is dope. And how do we form something for all of us in this platform that we release music on, and we want to do an interview, we want to do all this stuff. So we started coming up with a name, and it had to mean something. I always admired like rock bands and their names because it was very vague and like, you know what I'm saying? You can kind of take it how you want it. Mm-hmm. So I was like, man, I want something like that. I don't want nothing like Get Money Records or Big Bad or nothing like that. And that's that we get a lot of that in hip hop. So I was like, I don't want nothing like that, man. Mm. So we just started thinking of words that sounded nice, and Panoramic was first. Mm-hmm. And like we knew it was gonna be dreams. I've always been a dreamer. We all been dreamers. So dreams was gonna be involved somehow, but Panoramic Dreams came about like that between us four, and it was gonna be a label. And so that's how it came to be. It was just us going back and forth with names and words and trying to figure it all out. Panoramic Dreams just
sounds good.
Oh, it sounded so great.
Yeah. Yeah.
So kept rocking.
Cool. Mm-hmm. So the new studio is located off of Freya and Sprague.
Yeah. It's we're a couple of doors down from Freya and Sprague. I think it's Aaron's on the corner, and then we're like 2 doors down, right across the street from Adilanos. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, man. All that construction going on right now.
Yeah, we got a lot of construction, but luckily we're appointment only. You know what I mean? And luckily I've got to know the music community so much over the years, and I've somewhat built a reputable name. You know what I mean, amongst everybody. So
no doubt.
You know, it's definitely not hard to see who needs services and recording and be serious about it, especially in the hip hop genre where, we don't really get looked at seriously for our process because it's like, oh, he's just rapping over a 2-track beat or whatever the case may be. And it's like, nah, it's a lot more than that, and you know what I'm saying? So we get to be in sessions with cats, and we walk them through cadence and how to count bars and, save this for the end and punchlines and all these different things. And it's magic, bro. Like we take people seriously in that genre, and yeah, so far so good, man. We've had a couple of sessions already and a lot more meetings and sessions so far, which is dope. I want that place to be a hub where we can get together and we can talk about strategies and who's got the shows coming up and how do we all come out and support, show love, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, man. That's definitely what I see happening, and so yeah, there hasn't been, as far as I know, any professional studio in town that was like specifically focused on like hip hop music and really delivering there, like, so it's really cool, man, to see this dream come true for you, man.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, there's a need for it. There's a need, and luckily, like throughout having like different spaces and recording in different spaces and getting to know the hip hop artists around town, like they all have needs. They all have ideas that they have. Like, man, we need a place where we can all go and collaborate and all these things. And so it's like, it's crazy. Like all these things that I heard that people wanted, I was already thinking like, was like my dream of having anyway. So it's like I get to provide something that everybody wanted anyway, at the same time fulfill a dream of mine. It was like, oh, it's a win-win.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So how do people go about getting booked a session if they're interested in recording? Obviously, you do music beyond hip hop too, though.
Right.
You work with artists of all genres,
of course,
essentially. And yeah, so how do people go about getting booked? And
yeah, so you can hit me up on Panoramic Dreams Instagram, as I'm working on redoing everything on the website right now. But panoramicdreamsrecording.com is where you do most of the booking. Out the gate, we don't book sessions, we book pre-production meetings. So you can bring your ideas, bring your, what you want to get done, your goals, your music goals, and we meet and we're able to talk face to face before we get to work. And feel the vibe out, see if it's even going to work. Maybe you have something that I'm not great at, but I know who's better at it and who can provide the services that you need, so I can point you in the right direction. I'm focused on hip hop for sure, but that's, again, we do more than just hip hop for sure.
Right. You worked with my brother before, who does like folk type music.
Yeah. We've done singer songwriter, we've done pop, electronic. We can get out there and do some things, but there's certain things that the studio at the moment doesn't have capabilities of doing. So that's why pre-production and, getting to know different studios in town, as there are different studios that, excel in different things. I think Jimmy at Amplify, shout out to him. Even during like me remodeling Panoramic Dreams, has reached out and like is low key been like a mentor for me. It was like, hey, don't quit. Whenever you feel like you want to quit, let me know. Him and his wife Mandy have sent people our way before. You know what I'm saying? And have asked us if we have time to take on clientele. Like Jimmy and his wife Mandy, like they're cool, man. Like that's community right there, bro. Like
I've met Jimmy a couple of times.
Yeah. Chill, man. Chill dude. And I interned under Jimmy for a little bit and learned some stuff from him. Yeah, bro. So I think it's being able to lean on other people at certain times, especially when I'm like, I might not be the right person for a project, but I can be able to assist them and like point them in the right direction, or like, hey, I can do this part of your project. You know what I mean? And this other place might be able to do the rest better, but yeah.
So the mission of Panoramic Dreams essentially is to create a hub spot for music, hip hop, to create a real movement, essentially. And a coalition of artists that are for really that's the Frisco stuff right there. For really trying to kill it in music, to do it at a professional level, and you're doing a vetting process to make sure, like, well, bro, if you're gonna come in and want to do this, we got to make sure we're a good fit, though. So you're curating who you would even record. Essentially.
In a sense, for sure. Because I want people to know that we take your time seriously, and we take our time seriously too.
Right.
You know what I mean? What I want to do with that space is I have 3 core values. It's called create, educate, and facilitate. Create being the music process, you know what I'm saying, and creating musical elements, and then educate is we do want to hold workshops. We do want to hold events to where we're teaching one another. You know what I'm saying? There's some people in the community that know more than me on a certain topic. I want that to be a place where we can do that at scale. And then facilitate is, man, use this space. You know what I'm saying? If you want to show off your merchandise, show off your brand, like we have space for city chapters up front, you know what I'm saying, to where local artists might be new to the scene or not know what's going on. It's like, yo, you got to get hip to this brand, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we have space for that. We have space for, networking events to where we can not only meet one another, but we can work. That's the place where we can work, because there's 4 of us in there. right now. We all have separate rooms, and each of our rooms do something different. You know what I mean? So we can literally start in one room and work our way to another room, and once you get to the end, you have a finished product.
Who's all in there right now?
We got my boy DJ Spicy Ketchup in there, and then we have my boy James Pacotis in there, and we got his nephew, he's the young buck that we're all just pouring into. Noah Pacotis is in there as well. Noah.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be crazy. I just love seeing you guys get this all put together. You know, like this, I know is really a dream come true for you, man. And like the first steps of you really, I think, accomplishing what you've set out to do in life. You know, like this is a big milestone for you. And I'm honored, man, to be able to just interview you, man, and get to learn more about it.
Thank you, bro.
And to me, it just seems like you, like the whole fact that you're going to vet somebody prior to even just going into a session, it's like, it's not about the money for you. You know what I mean? It's about the artwork. And I've seen it in town where it's like, you know, people just pay for recording. They come up, dude's like, all right, here you go. Here's a little mix. Here you go, bro. Like, there was no curation of the process. There was no re-recordings. It was, you know, they're not invested in that person's artwork. Right. It's like show up, record, you know, that's kind of the thing. Where I know with you, you know, it's like, this is your product too, you know, and it's like, I want to make sure that I want to work with you. And if I want to work with you, we're going to make sure that we get you the best product, or I'm going to push you to be better too. Like you're teaching them and educating them cadence, all these different things like you're talking about. Like, I'm not just going to let you come up in here. If you don't really know what you're doing, we're going to have to educate you on that. You know, so that you can really make a great product. Right. You know, because a lot of people think they can just show up and do something and put a song out and it's going to be popping. And it's like, no, bro, like, let me tell you, because I've been through it. There's a lot more that goes into it, and you got to be intentional about this. You know, you got to take this. When me and Jazz were talking about this, I think on our podcast, you know, it's like, if you're going to do something, you need to come in acting as a professional. Of course, when you're young and you're starting from nowhere, that's hard to understand. But if you have mentors such as yourself, a young kid with some, you know, talent comes in, you're like, yo, bro, like, you got something, but let's get you to a professional level. And then you could really put out awesome product. You know, because that we're not doing anything less than that here. Right. You know, and so like, that's what that's what I'm really excited to see. See the new music that comes out of Panoramic Dreams, the production, all of that, man. Oh man, I feel like it's gonna create a new wave in Spokane of what's possible for musicians. Because I just don't, and not like I've been deep in the music scene, but the way that you've structured it and the way you've branded it, the way you've marketed it, just through your own self and your own music, like, the vibe that Panoramic Dreams is bringing is different than anything I've seen in Spokane. You know, and I'm pretty well tapped in with a lot of artists and stuff to know. So I'm excited, man. And just the whole crew that you got there, man. James, who I wanted to speak about, is somebody you introduced me to a couple years ago now. Well, probably like 4 years or so. And I love James, man. James is like such an amazing individual, has an amazing story. James will be on this podcast eventually as well. And I was very excited to hear that he's going to be moving back up here to start working, you know, being a part of the Panoramic Dreams Coalition. Yeah, man.
We're working on something extremely exciting right now. Oh, man. Oh man,
you guys always are though.
But this one, this one is like, it's almost like, man, can we go that big? We can go that big.
Sure. We belong in that room.
Exactly.
That's sick, man. I'm, you know, and that's the thing too. Like, about what I want to host on this podcast is like there are a lot of us that do have the capabilities to be in the top tier rooms, you know.
Facts.
And I think we're all getting to a professional level where we really know that now. We've really been through enough to be like, you know what, like we are professionals. You know, we're at that level now. You certainly are, man, and have inspired me a lot by you deciding to like, I'm gonna put it all into getting my own space here. I'm gonna make this happen now. Yeah. I'm not gonna wait no more. Yeah. Nothing, you know, I'm sure everything wasn't as perfect as it was, but you made a decision and you made it happen. Mm-hmm. You've faced a lot of challenges, I know, with like the reconstruction of the building and but you know, just kept pushing, man. Yeah. And you didn't let it, I mean, you know, like not like you could turn away at that point, like you're already invested, but it's same time, it's like you met a lot of challenges. Yeah. And it's incredibly hard at times in business when you're trying to do something and everything you try to do is met with resistance. Mm-hmm. Like just straight up resistance. Yeah. Like you can't even move. Sometimes it feels like there's so much weight on you or so much weight or blockage against what you're trying to do. You don't even know how to navigate past it sometimes. Mm-hmm. So what are some techniques that you do mentally or physically to get yourself out of that funk or to remove that resistance? What are some of the ways that you're able to deal with resistance like that? Yeah. I say in my mind, everything's for me, not against me. So even when it seems tough and everything's like in that building, it happened so many times. Like, really, are you serious? Are you joking? But in the long run, it was probably it was a fact for me, and I was glad that stuff happened because it made a lot of other stuff easier. And so yeah, everything's for me, not against me. I listen to a lot of Nipsey Hussle interviews, or I re-listen to his music. And he tells me like half the time what to do, what type of attitude to have. And a big thing that he always says is like, you're going to deal with some BS on your journey, but you got to stay solid. You got to stay 10 toes. You got to live behind what you do. You know what I'm saying? And be down to die behind it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We definitely obviously have known that we share that respect for Nipsey Hussle and even admiration. He's probably one of the few people in life that I actually looked up to. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say I idolized Nip, but I definitely felt like the way he talked about things was a really relatable. Yeah. For me and the way I think. Obviously, he'd been through a lot of crazy experiences that I've never been that deep into the life, but I mean, I've been through enough, and I've been into some really dark, deep places. And I remember one interview, him saying, I've been through every emotion that you could think of. Like, I didn't always have it together. There was times I didn't believe in myself. There were times where I didn't want to do this anymore. There were, I went through every single emotion in this pursuit. And him to be that vulnerable, because most rappers don't, they don't want to let you know about none of that side. And that was the one thing I loved about Nip, is he was straight up real about all the challenges that you face in this pursuit of greatness. And when he said, I've been through every emotion, like, I remember him saying, like, he was in the streets, he had his cash up and everything was good. Then he decided to go into music, and, slowly that money dwindled away, and he was like very insecure. He was like, I would go out, girls wouldn't, like, I just was I was very insecure with myself because I came from an environment where you had to have the whip. He's like, I had to sell my whip. He's like, I didn't have fresh clothes no more. I didn't, it's crazy to even think Nip being in that place because you always thought he was, but he really was in the trenches trying to fight to figure out how to do this music thing. Yeah. And it wasn't like easy for him at all. Right. I mean, and we all know that. And I'm glad he got at least to do his victory lap before his time was up. Cause he earned that, man. Like at least he got to accomplish that. And,
that's what you see as soon as you walk in the building, by the way, too. Like as soon as you walk through the front door, there's Nip right there.
Yeah. And LQs too. We got Nip. And yeah, man. Saying our mice.
It's just that type of energy, bro. That like, and he said in that same interview, it's like the only difference between me and whoever is going through the same thing, that their pursuit to whatever they're trying to accomplish is I just didn't quit.
I didn't give up.
That's it. So it's like that's the secret right there. It's like you don't fail until you quit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So like when I lost that building downtown. I lost that space. Like they didn't want to renew the lease. They didn't want nothing to do with me. Yeah. So I like
pushed you out.
That should have been a failure right there. Like I failed to keep that space open. Look at like all that just down the drain. It's like, no, bro. Like
you own this building, don't you?
No,
or you're leasing it.
But I don't own this building. But I'm gonna tell you now, right now, I will. Yeah. I will own this building. I'm leasing it at the moment. Got a pretty lengthy lease, but that's the goal is to own that building.
Yeah, man.
We will.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's awesome, man.
Put that out there.
Is there anything else you want to talk about as far as Panoramic Dreams, or any other information you want to get out there as far as what people need to be looking out for in the future from you?
Definitely look out for Purple in Spokane 2. That's a project that when I first came to Spokane, I dropped Purple in Spokane, and that kind of like solidified my name in music around here as a new guy. Like, who is this guy? I think he is. So Purple in Spokane 2, working on that.
Nice.
Look out for me DMing artists and be like, hey, I have a record that I think you would sound dope on. We want to curate, like you were saying, we want to curate artists around here and bring them in and just make a record. And then show them like how split sheets work, show them how masters work, show them how sync licensing works, and the whole process, and so many different ways of getting paid in music. So look out for events like that at Panoramic Dreams, man. We want to facilitate, educate, create at that building, man. That's the goal.
Yeah, man. I just feel now that you have all these, everything's in place. Everything's in place, man. Yes. And I can't wait to see the product that you're going to be putting out for these artists, man, because like I feel like for the first time there's somebody in Spokane that really sees the vision of like how you could create artists to be globally recognized from Spokane, because you're going to deliver them the education, the product that they really need to have music done at the levels that is being done in these other markets that are crushing it and are really making things happen. We really haven't had that yet, not on a major scale, you know what I mean? And I feel like what you've put in place is going to give that opportunity, Yeah,
man. We need structure out here, so hopefully we can provide that.
Yeah, no doubt. I know you are, man. Yes, I don't even doubt it for 1 second. I'm just so blessed, bro, once again to know you, man, to have you on here, to learn more about you today.
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, man, I wanted to talk about, the relationship with city chapters, and it's meant a lot to me because you really represent it and wear it. And what is it that you see about city chapters that makes you feel gravitated towards it?
Yeah, I see the vision that you have. I know what city chapters is trying to convey. I know the story that you're trying to get across. Representation is extremely important. And I feel like that embodies like what I'm about as well. I try to represent and put on for where I'm at. I'm in Spokane, and you know, I rap out of Spokane. You know, I don't rap out of Tacoma or Seattle or Canada or all these other places. I rap out of here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I feel like city chapters provides that type of like unspoken representation. Like, I don't have to say it, I wear it. You know what I mean? And it's almost as if like I got to the point where it's like, even without quote unquote wearing city chapters, I still embody it.
Yeah.
You know, I still represent it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's why I connect with even the name city chapters in itself, because we all have a story. Stories have chapters, man. You know, a city has a story, a city has chapters. We're on our chapter right now.
Yeah.
This is our city right now.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do with it?
Right.
What are we gonna do in this chapter, man?
Yeah, man.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you, bro. And I love that you said like you don't have to wear it. Like that is a key component that I'm really trying to get across, especially with starting the podcast, is I don't want it to be about just clothing. I don't want to be just known. I don't want city chapters to be known for just clothing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to open up the doors for us to be recognized as an organization that really embodies community in our city.
Exactly.
So the fact that you said that is like, you're right. You see the bigger vision. And I have had conversations with you prior so that you really know, but other people don't. And I think the podcast is a great way for me to get that out there.
Get it out there. Yeah.
And we are each of us creating some amazing chapters right now. That's why I had to have you on ASAP.
Yes.
So
this is beautiful.
Once again, this is my brother T.S The Solution.
Yes, sir.
And that's chapter 2, fellas and ladies. And I'm Bobby J, your host. See ya.
Long as we keep it ambitious and get to the riches, I'm ready to go. I mix my humble beginners with winnings and chemists as far as I know. Whoa, sugar and spice, I'm everything nice. I give you advice, they give you a price. If you paid attention, you'll see what I'm kicking. I'm wasting your money by saying it twice. Shit is a game, you wanna complain, you blaming your L's on the dice. Mama just whipped up the cobbler, so I had to call it a reserve a slice. Whole fam gotta eat, closed mouth don't get fed. So all I had to do was speak. Now I'm talking.